The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange-purple. For Werner Schaufelberger it was a perfect evening off the coast of Portugal. Werner, his crew. The yacht Champagne cut smoothly through calm Atlantic waters. Suddenly, a jarring thud shook the vessel, a violent impact like hitting a submerged rock. They were in deep water, far from hazards. Werner and his crew scrambled, hearts pounding, trying to comprehend what had happened. Another, even more powerful blow struck the hull. The serene evening became a fight for survival. Peering over the side, their eyes met a sight that defied belief. 3 massive black and white forms circled the boat. Killer whales. They weren't just observing, they were attacking the Champagne. The largest, a formidable matriarch, slammed her body against the rudder, sending shudders through the boat. The smaller orcas learned from her, mimicking with coordinated strikes. A deep, crunching groan, fiberglass and metal giving way, utterly bewildering. They heard the rudder shaft splinter. The Champagne was now adrift, at the mercy of the animals below. The orcas focused on the boat's underside, assaulting it for what felt like an eternity. Then abruptly, the attack stopped. Werner and his crew sat in terrifying silence, their crippled yacht taking on water. They made a distress call. They were saved. But the boat was not. The Champagne eventually sank beneath the waves. When we think of killer whales, Orcinus orca, we often picture the majestic performers from marine parks, or the stars of nature documentaries. But these animals are so much more complex than that. They aren't actually whales, they are the largest species of dolphin, a family renowned for its intelligence. Orcas are true apex predators, meaning they sit at the very top of the marine food chain. Nothing in the ocean hunts them. Their power is legendary. They can grow up to 32 feet long and weigh over 6 tons, a school bus of pure muscle and predatory instinct. They are built for speed and power, capable of swimming at speeds over 30 miles per hour. What truly sets orcas apart, however, is their incredible brain power and complex social structure. Their eyes and faces show intelligence. Their brains are among the largest of all marine mammals, and the part of their brain associated with emotion and social processing is highly developed. They live in tight-knit family groups called pods, which are typically led by the oldest female, the matriarch. These pods function like intricate societies. Unique cultures, traditions, dialects. Different pods have developed specific hunting techniques passed down through generations. Some beach themselves to catch sea lions, while others create massive waves to wash seals off floating ice. This ability to learn, teach, and innovate is a hallmark of their profound intelligence. This cultural transmission is key to understanding orca behavior. It's not just about instinct, it's about learned behavior. We've seen trends and fads spread through orca populations before. In the 1980s, one pod in the Pacific Northwest started a strange trend of wearing dead salmon on their heads like hats. The story of the Champagne is not a one-off event. Since 2020, a startling pattern has emerged concentrated around the Iberian Peninsula. Strait of Gibraltar, Atlantic coast of Spain, Atlantic coast of Portugal. Map with red dots showing interactions. This is the territory of a small, critically endangered group, the Iberian Orcas. They are genetically distinct from other North Atlantic populations. Scientists estimate fewer than 50 individuals remain. The attacks, scientists call them interactions, share striking similarities. They almost exclusively target sailing yachts. Large commercial ships, container vessels, small motorboats are generally ignored. The orcas seem to be drawn to sailboats between 30 and 50 feet in length. The focus of their aggression is remarkably consistent. In nearly every documented case, they zero in on the boat's rudder. They bite. They ram. They wrench. Often with enough force to snap it completely, leaving the boat disabled and adrift on the open sea. The number of these interactions has been steadily increasing, has now escalated into hundreds of documented encounters. While most of these incidents result in only minor damage, a growing number have been severe. At least 3 yachts have been sunk after their hulls were breached following a rudder attack. This escalation is alarming. The behavior appears to be spreading within the Iberian orca population. Initially, interactions were blamed on just a few individuals, but now multiple pods are involved, including young calves, suggesting the behavior is being taught and learned. The consistency of these events points away from random, isolated incidents. It suggests something more coordinated, something intentional. Why sailboats? Why the rudders? And why this specific population of orcas? Sailors in the region are now on high alert, sharing information on orca sightings and attack locations through social media groups and maritime networks. What was once a dream sailing route has become a source of anxiety, as the beautiful, intelligent creatures that inhabit these waters have turned into an unpredictable and destructive force. One of the leading theories proposed by marine biologists is that this aggressive behavior might have started as a form of play. Orcas, especially juveniles, are known to be incredibly curious and playful creatures. They often interact with objects they find in their environment, pushing around pieces of driftwood. They also play with kelp. A few young, inquisitive orcas may have discovered they could push on a boat's rudder. They discovered the rudder could make the boat move. The physical feedback, the movement of the rudder and keel through the water, might have been stimulating. The vibration of the rudder and keel could have felt like a new, interactive toy in their playground. Orcas are known for developing fads and cultural trends. Think of the salmon hat trend from the 1980s. Boat bumping might have started with one or two individuals and then been copied. Young orcas learn by mimicking elders and peers. If they saw an orca get a reaction from a sailboat, they'd try it too. Over time, playful pushing could escalate. They may have become more forceful, not out of malice but as part of the game, like a group of teenagers discovering a mischievous new activity. At first it's harmless fun, but it can quickly get out of hand. Orcas might seek a specific sensation, the rudder snapping, or the boat stopping. Once they get that outcome, the game ends and they lose interest. Which explains why they often leave after the boat is disabled. They are not targeting people on board, they are not trying to sink the vessel intentionally. Sinking is an unintended consequence. However, this play theory has limits. It explains initial curiosity and spread, but struggles to explain sustained, escalating attacks. Play usually de-escalates or changes, yet these incidents have become more frequent and destructive. Some of the most persistent attackers are adult females, not juveniles. Calling systematic destruction mere play seems simplistic when mature, experienced animals are involved. It's a plausible starting point but not necessarily the whole story. A more dramatic and emotionally charged theory suggests this behavior is not play, but retaliation. This hypothesis centers on a specific matriarch within the Iberian population. An orca scientists have named White Gladys. The theory posits that White Gladys may have had a traumatic experience involving a boat in the past. Maybe she was struck by a sailboat's rudder, maybe she was entangled in fishing gear being trailed from a vessel, maybe she witnessed a member of her pod being injured. This negative, painful encounter could have triggered a defensive or even vengeful response. She may now perceive sailboats, or specifically their rudders, as a threat. According to this theory, White Gladys, as the leader of her pod, would have taught this defensive behavior to her offspring and other members of her family group. Orca matriarchs are the keepers of knowledge and tradition. Their lessons are followed without question by the pod. If she taught them that sailboats are dangerous and must be neutralized by disabling their rudders, they would adopt this behavior as a crucial survival skill. This would explain the highly specific and targeted nature of the attacks. It's not a random lashing out, it's a precise, learned tactic aimed at a perceived threat. There is some evidence to support this idea. The interactions did seem to begin with a small group of orcas that included White Gladys. The behavior then spread to other related individuals. This is consistent with the way cultural knowledge is passed down in orca society. Furthermore, the Iberian orca population is under immense pressure. They compete with fishing fleets for their primary food source, the endangered bluefin tuna. They must navigate some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. They are constantly exposed to noise pollution and the risk of boat strikes. It is not far-fetched to believe that one of them finally snapped. This revenge narrative is compelling and captures the human imagination, but it's also speculative. It is very difficult, if not impossible, to prove that a specific traumatic event occurred and is the direct cause of this behavior. Attributing complex human emotions like revenge to animals can be a form of anthropomorphism. We can project our own feelings onto them. While orcas certainly have rich emotional lives, we must be cautious about defining their motivations in purely human terms. The traumatized matriarch theory is a powerful story, but scientists are still searching for more concrete evidence to support it. A third compelling theory looks beyond a single traumatic event to cumulative stress from a noisier ocean. The underwater world is far from silent. Sound travels better in water than in air. And for orcas, hearing is their primary sense. They use sound to navigate. They use sound to find food through echolocation. They use sound to communicate over vast distances. In the last century, humans have filled the oceans with artificial noise. Ship engines, sonar, seismic surveys for oil and gas, construction noise. This acoustic smog is incredibly stressful for marine life. Imagine a lawnmower running in every room 24 hours a day. That is reality for many marine animals. Noise interferes with communication. Noise interferes with hunting. Noise can even impair cognition. The Strait of Gibraltar is one of the busiest shipping channels on Earth, a constant highway of massive container ships, ferries. For the Iberian orcas, the acoustic environment is likely overwhelming. That stress could be pushing them past their breaking point. The theory suggests attacks on sailboats may be a misplaced reaction to environmental stress. The orcas might not be attacking sailboats out of anger. Noise from a nearby supertanker could be so agitating. They might lash out at the nearest, the quietest, the most vulnerable target, a sailboat. The focus on the rudder could be due to a specific sound or vibration it makes underwater. That sound may be especially irritating to an overstimulated orca. The behavior could be stress-induced agitation. In the face of this unprecedented behavior, both sailors and scientists have been forced to adapt and respond. For the sailing community, navigating the Iberian coast has become a nerve-wracking experience. An entire grassroots information network has sprung up online. Sailors use social media groups, dedicated apps to report orca sightings interactions in real time. This allows other boats in the area to alter their course and avoid potential encounters. The mantra has become "stay informed, stay out of their way," a significant shift from the days when an orca sighting was a moment of pure joy. Sailors have also been experimenting with a range of deterrents with mixed results. Some have tried making loud noises by banging on the hull, hoping to scare the orcas away. Others have deployed devices that emit specific acoustic frequencies designed to be unpleasant for cetaceans. One of the more unusual and reportedly effective methods involves throwing sand into the water around the boat. The theory is that the sand might irritate the orca's sensitive skin or eyes, or perhaps the cloudiness in the water confuses their echolocation. There is no single foolproof method, and what works one day might fail the next, adding to the uncertainty. Meanwhile, scientists are working tirelessly to understand the why behind the interactions. Researchers from Spain and Portugal are leading studies, tagging individual orcas to track their movements and social structures. By analyzing this data, they hope to identify which individuals are initiating the attacks and see how the behavior spreads through the population. They collect photos and videos from sailors to build a comprehensive database of every encounter, noting the time, location, boat type, and the orca's specific actions. This detailed information is crucial for spotting patterns and testing the various theories about the orca's motivation. Government agencies and maritime authorities have also stepped in. They have issued official warnings to mariners. The unfolding drama of the Iberian orcas is forcing us to rethink our relationship with the ocean and its intelligent inhabitants. It's a stark reminder that we are not masters of this domain, but visitors. The official advice for sailors who find themselves in an interaction is counterintuitive but crucial. Stop the boat, turn off the engine, let go of the wheel. The idea is to make the boat as uninteresting as possible. If the rudder is not moving and the engine is not vibrating, the orcas may lose interest more quickly, panicking. Trying to speed away seems to only provoke them further, turning a curious encounter into a more aggressive one. This new etiquette extends beyond immediate actions during an attack. Conservation groups and scientists are urging a broader shift in our behavior on the water. This includes advocating for stricter regulations on marine noise pollution, creating quiet zones. Slow-speed corridors in critical habitats could give the Iberian orcas a much-needed respite from the constant acoustic stress they endure. It also means giving them space. The thrill of getting a close-up photo of a wild orca must be replaced with a respectful distance, allowing them to hunt, travel, and socialize without human interference. Education is perhaps the most powerful tool we have. Many sailors and the public at large are learning for the first time just how intelligent and complex these animals are. Understanding that this is likely not malicious behavior but a response to pressures we have placed on their environment fosters empathy rather than fear. It reframes the narrative from killer whales attacking boats to a stressed, endangered population showing a troubling new behavior. This shift in perspective is vital for promoting conservation-minded solutions rather than punitive ones. No one in the scientific or conservation community wants to see these orcas harmed as a result of their actions. Ultimately, we are being taught a lesson in humility by the orcas themselves. They are communicating with us in the only way they can, through their actions. As we stand here today on September 3, 2025, the mystery of the Iberian orcas is far from solved. We have theories, data, countless first-hand accounts. But the definitive reason for their behavior remains tantalizingly out of reach. We still don't know for certain if this is a game, a form of revenge, a reaction to stress, or a combination of all three. We don't know why this behavior is unique to this small, embattled population. And perhaps most importantly, we don't know if or when it will stop, or if it will spread to other orca populations around the globe. This uncertainty is what makes the situation fascinating and deeply concerning. From a scientific perspective, it is a captivating, real-time example of cultural evolution in a non-human species. We are witnessing the birth and spread of a brand new, complex behavior within a highly intelligent animal society. It offers an unprecedented window into the minds of orcas, their social dynamics, and their ability to adapt to a changing world. Every new interaction provides another data point, another clue, in one of the greatest zoological puzzles of our time. At the same time, the situation is frightening. It's worrying for the sailors who have to navigate these waters, facing the very real risk of losing their boats and being stranded at sea. It's also deeply concerning for the future of the Iberian orcas themselves. This critically endangered population is now in conflict with humans, which puts them at greater risk. There is a danger that public fear could turn to anger, leading to calls for culling or other harmful actions. The orcas are also risking injury by ramming into solid boats, and their focus on this behavior could be distracting them from essential activities like hunting and caring for their young. The story of the Iberian orcas serves as a powerful and unsettling parable for the 21st century. It highlights the profound impact our species has on the natural world,